said something that I thought was interesting, and if that's transferable into other areas of my life, like why wouldn't I do something? And you said that when you first started, it took you 3 years to build up the confidence, was the word that you used, and the self-belief. You said that. And then when you joined with this other crew and you saw them running, you're like, man, if Bill can do it, I'm faster than Bill, or a little slower than Steve or Sally or whatever. And you were able to do those comparisons. But in the building of the confidence, if you're taking that confidence of winning, that mindset into every area of your life, how would it benefit if I could show up at work more confident, if I could show up as a husband more confident, or anything? It seems like that's a completely transferable skill. That it's amazing that's what you've acquired from running. Yeah.
So let's just take it a little, like, based off of that. I have principles. So my Instagram handle is Adventure Your Potential. That's my business, Adventure Your Potential. So, and just like life, I was saying, is an endurance event, like discovering your potential is an adventure. It's going to have peaks and valleys, highs and lows. It's basically, you got to step into the unknown. If you're always comfortable, you have to step out of your comfort zone to discover what your potential is. Your potential is beyond your current comfort state. Like if you're always stepping out of your comfort zone to pursue, you're going to grow and reach a greater potential. There is no limit to your potential. And so
when you become uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding you.
Yeah. So like, if you think of it like just like your comfort zone in a circle, you got to step over that line basically in order to grow. Like if you want to expand that circle, you got to step over the line.
Time to get uncomfortable.
But the first principle in my Adventure Your Potential is attitude. So I always talk to, when I'm talking to, clients, when I'm talking to organizations, when I'm speaking and stuff like that, I talk about attitude, because attitude is like the first principle. It's like, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that the goal that you are trying to obtain is possible? Courage, is an attitude, not a positivity. Life, I always believe life is 50% positive and 50% negative. It's what you focus on. So, like, no matter what, there's good and bad. It's 50%, 50%. But if you're so focused on the good, you kind of you skim over the bad. You kind of like oversee it.
Yeah.
And you're just focused on that. And so you're focused on that, and you just see more good coming into your life. But if you're focused on the bad, if you're like your glass is always half empty rather than half full, you're going to see more of those things. Yeah. Just like if you're going to about purchase a car and you're going to buy a blue car and it's going to be a Civic, all of a sudden you're focused on blue Civics, and all of a sudden you're going to start seeing a bunch of blue Civics driving around the town. And you're like, wow, everybody got a blue Civic. I never even realized this. But that's where your focus is. So if your focus is on the good rather than the bad, you're going to see more good coming into your life than bad. So attitude is everything, because when you're in the middle of a race, when I'm running these 100+ mile races, there's going to be good times and bad times. There's going to be good miles and bad miles. And if I analyze and see the bad miles and I say, hey, I understand this, but I also know on the other side of this, it's going to turn good. If it's bad, why is it bad? And I'm going to readjust something, whether it's my hydration, nutrition, or something like that, or if something's flaring up, why? Is it a quad? Is it a calf? Is it Achilles? What is making the adjustments to then overcome that, and knowing that the good is just on the other side of that, and just focus on that. So that attitude is everything. That's why it's my first principle. It's just, and that attitude is what got me to believe in myself, to show the courage to even attempt the challenge. And so, I mean, attitude is everything in how you approach something.
Excuse me. Attitude. So you have 5 principles.
Right. I have 4 principles.
Four principles, and attitude being number 1.
Number 1.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is consistency. Consistency is time. Okay? So if the amount of time that you put into it, you're going to get back out of it. Your priorities. So, and I say this, and I'm going to refer to other things in life than just running too. So I tell my son, he's 14 years old and stuff like that. And everybody that's listening probably has kids that love gaming, right? And I'm just like, well, how much time are you putting into that? Or they might have goals like, hey, I want to be a pilot, or I want to do this. Well, how much time are you investing? Because time, when we're born to when we die, we only have a limited amount of time on this earth.
Yep.
Okay? So you think about the great people that have, like from musicians to artists to pro athletes, when it comes down to it, how much did they invest in their craft? So how much time are you investing in your craft?
Yeah.
You know, and you can't get yesterday back. So you have to look at today and move and tomorrow. So who cares if you screwed up yesterday? What are you doing about it today?
Got it.
And so it's like, how much time? So the consistency is basically showing up each and every day.
And 10,000 hours.
Yeah, just like the book in 10,000 hours, or your, habits, daily habits and stuff like that, the atomic habits.
Atomic habits, yeah.
And so it's like, how much time are you investing into your craft? Just like my running, how much time am I investing into it? And what I invest into it, I'm going to get back. You're always going to get something in return.
What do you get in return?
You get knowledge. You get experience. You get to
those
learn.
Views. You get the goods and the bads, all of it.
Yeah, but the bads. So I always tell my clients when they say they have an injury or they're having something flare up, that's just your body speaking to you.
Yeah.
Your body's speaking to you saying, hey, there's something off.
Yeah.
It's not like a negative. It's
feedback.
It's feedback. It's giving you feedback. If you didn't invest your time, you weren't consistent, you would have never got that knowledge of the flare-up. So could be a flare-up in your race, in your event. But if you're learning in the process, in your training, then you're going to learn how to correct it. If it flares up and it's speaking to you and you analyze, you're like, okay, do I need to roll it out? Do I need to stretch a little bit more? Am I low on electrolytes? People don't realize that electrolytes can cause tears in the muscle fibers, because if the muscle fibers are like tense because you are low on electrolytes, then you can tear something.
Wow.
So you got to kind of figure out, why did this happen? How did it happen? And how can I correct it? And then once you gain that knowledge and apply it and become successful and keep moving forward, then if it happens during your event,
you see it coming,
you can see it coming, or when it does come, you're like, I know what to do.
I got this.
And that makes that event more possible for success. So if you, from an attitude standpoint, if you look at negative things that are happening to you as a opportunity to learn rather than this negative, then your mindset of having these happen to you becomes almost like a gratitude thing and a knowledge thing.
Oh, I'm so grateful I had that flare up.
Well,
I learned from
this. It sounds funny.
No,
it sounds funny, but everything is, what can I learn from this lesson?
Yeah.
What can I learn from this experience? And so if you can change your mindset and look at like challenges in your life as not challenges, but opportunities for growth and success, then if you learn from that, if you're observant and present and understanding and you learn from that, then you become more powerful. It's another tool in your toolbox so that you don't have to, it's not a big deal if it happens again. It's not the end of the world. And that's, if you think about like stresses as teenagers rather than stresses as adults, stresses don't go away as an adult. They actually get bigger, right? They actually become more compound. Sure. But we get better at handling them. Management. Yeah. And if you can even times that by 10 through putting yourself, like ultra running for me is a training ground for challenges and opportunities to gain more knowledge and apply them to all aspects of my life. So I'm not, it's a lifestyle for me, and it's helping me grow as a human, as a man, as a father, as an employee or a business owner. It's my opportunity to just excel. And so, we've kind of gone down a rabbit hole.
I love this rabbit hole.
Great.
This is awesome. So we've talked about principle 1 and 2. Let's hear 3.
Okay, effort.
Effort. Attitude.
So consistency, that's great, but if you're just not, so you say it like this, you're getting up and you're running every day and you just do the same route at the same speed every day, hey, you're consistent, right? You're gonna grow, you're gonna learn, you're gonna get better in that, but are you expanding? So effort in my mind is like almost like a focused effort. It's like, what can I analyze and do better? And so the effort is not just work. Everybody talks about hard work and work. It's not just work. It's like, I want to put forth more effort into being better, into growing. And effort is like past work, just showing up. Effort is like thriving, striving to do better.
What did I do to prepare? What did I do to, I love that effort. All right. And then principle number 4.
Patience. It's like outside of attitude, patience is always my last one because it's at the end. So think about so many people that got excited. They have a positive attitude. They have the courage to show up. They're putting in the consistency. They're starting to focus in on the effort. But the number one thing that people give up on their goal is they're not patient. They're not patient to see
epidemic.
it through.
It's the world that we live in.
They want it now.
Right now.
Like
and if I can't have it, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. Like you show up to a race to run your first 100 milers and you fail. Okay.
So do you forgive yourself or
would you do with it? Are you going to like walk away? Or let's say that they just don't even patience is to see it through. And so many people give up on anything like they start and they don't see it through. They start and they don't see it through because they didn't get their results right away or fast enough. And so I tell people, I'm like, from a weightlifting standpoint, so many people come to me and like, hey, I want to get stronger. Or I want to lose weight too, and you're like, okay, if you show up every day, and you do the workout and you do the effort and you have a positive attitude kind of a thing, if you can decrease whether your body composition or your body fat or whatever their goal is, it's only going to be a certain percentage a day. And I say it's going to take you 12 months
to hit your goal.
And they're just kind of like, whoa, so-and-so is offering like a 3-month package for, it's just kind of like this really quick and easy type thing. And I'm like, well, I'm talking about actually meeting your goal, patiently seeing it through and, doing it properly. And maybe this is kind of a bad example or something like that, but it's usually the patience that if they don't get it now, if they're not getting it fast enough, they're always looking for something different. Like I'll build a training plan for a client, and I'll say, I do them by the quarter, 12-week. And you're going to do the same thing. It's going to repeat itself every few weeks, but you're going to go through it, and it's going to be the same thing for 12 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I'm getting a text or I'm getting a message saying, hey, I saw this influencer doing this workout. Can we apply that into my training plan? I'm like, no. I was like, we're doing this. Well, like they're doing this differently. I'm like, just do the process. They're so busy looking elsewhere instead of looking and doing the work and doing it. They're trying to look for a shortcut.
Yeah.
They're really trying to look for a shortcut or a different way. And I say, that's a great exercise, and we can adapt it into the next quarter. But right now, I have this set up so that you will grow, like whether it's a glute or a hamstring or a quad or something, this will compound on top of this workout and this workout. They actually go together, and there's no way for you to measure your increase or your growth unless you come back around and do it again. Like, if you keep changing things up, your muscles, the confusion and stuff like that, you're never going to be able to analyze if you've grown. Just take bench press as an example. If you're doing bench press for a PR and the day before you did shoulders, your bench press is going to suffer.
Right.
You know? So if you're going to go for a PR and bench press, whatever you did the day before when you got your PR, you probably want to do the exact same thing the next day. Or another thing from a weightlifting standpoint, everybody, like if you're using different weights than the last time, it makes a difference, kind of a thing. So you want to like make sure that your environment's the same so that you can measure. So you do a program for 12 weeks so that you can measure and see the progress and see it through. And then after the 12 weeks, then we switch it up so that the muscle has confusion. But we do that one for 12 weeks so that you can then see the growth process and, you know, and measure the results.
Rob, why would somebody want to watch this podcast?
Why wouldn't you? We have a good time. You're going to learn something. And by the way, it's awesome. You should click it. You should watch it. Thanks for tuning in.
Subscribe right now.